news overseas, former special counsel Robert Mueller told members of Congress Wednesday that its investigation into Russian interference in the last presidential election did not exonerate U.S. President Donald Trump of allegedly trying to thwart the investigation. As Michael Sullivan reports, Mueller's comments before two congressional committees drew very different responses from Republicans and Democrats.
The former special counsel warned of Russian attempts to sway the election in favor of Donald Trump through social media and WikiLeaks data breaches.
First, our investigation found that the Russian government interfered in our election in sweeping and systematic fashion. Second, the investigation did not establish that members of the Trump campaign conspired with the Russian government in its election interference activities.
Mueller says investigators decided the president could not be charged for possible offenses as long as he's in office, based on long-standing Justice Department policy, but that the findings do not exonerate Trump.
And your investigation actually found, quote, multiple acts by the president that were capable of exerting undue influence over law enforcement investigations, including the Russian interference and obstruction investigations. Is that correct?
Correct.
Trump calls the investigation a witch hunt, and he and many supporters are skeptical that the Russians swayed the election.
Given your 22 months of investigation, tens of millions of dollars spent, and millions of documents reviewed, did you obtain any evidence at all that any American voter changed their vote as a result of Russians' election interference?
I'm not going to speak to that.
You can't speak to that? After 22 months of investigation, there's not any evidence in that document before us that any voter changed their vote because of their interference, and I'm asking you, based on all the documents that you reviewed.
That was outside our purview.
Many Democrats praised the former special counsel.
Your report, for those who have taken the time to study it, is methodical and it is devastating. For it tells the story of a foreign adversary's sweeping and systematic intervention in a close U.S. presidential election.
In other words,
Republicans called Mueller's appearance political theater.
I'm hopeful that the Democrats on our committee will realize that the American people are losing, have lost what little faith they had in this report, and this report now can go and we can actually start solving things like immigration and other things.
Mueller says that Russian meddling continues ahead of the 2020 U.S. election.